Top of the hour, here with us now, Republican Senator from Arizona, Chairman of the Armed Services Committee, Senator John McCain. Very good.
Senator McCain, I want to show a picture of a man that you knew very well. Now people out in the streets remembering him. A man who was in your office recently, and you offered a warning to him. What was it?
Well, I said to him, I said, Boris, I'm very worried about your safety. I think that these people are going to try to do you harm. I think that Vladimir, and he said, I know. He said, I know. He said, but I have to go back. I have to do this for my country. And so, and we now have news that just the last few days, he gave an interview where he said that he knew that his life was in danger. You know, the sad part about all this, Joe, is that right now John Kerry's meeting with Lavrov as if nothing happened.
There are never any repercussions.
Why?
There are never.
When does it stop?
There's never any
Why?
penalty.
Why are
well
there,
said.
Why?
Well said, Mika. Because they're hell-bent on this illusion that they can somehow, you know, tell Vladimir I'll be more flexible when I'm reelected, the reset button. They won't. And by the way, they're not the only ones, in all due respect.
Well,
I looked into his eyes, and remember I looked into his eyes and saw his soul, George W. Bush, and I said I looked into his eyes and I saw a K, a G, and a B. Yeah. You know, so there's this illusion.
How could two American presidents get this guy who is a sociopath? How could they get him so wrong?
I think it's this incredible desire to get along with the Russians and have a relationship with them, the post-Soviet Union. It's just like this, these negotiations that are going on now over a number of issues that Kerry meets with Lavrov constantly. And how could you do this?
While they go into Ukraine, while they violate a treaty where we promise them, you give us your nuclear weapons, we promise we will protect the borders of your country. And it seems like it's one red line crossed, another red line crossed, another red line crossed.
And our European friends, the Chancellor of Germany and the President of France, negotiate an agreement, which is while it's being violated as far as...
So why? Why is that?
Well, in the case of Europeans, it's obviously a sentiment that's reminiscent of the 1930s and their dependency on Russian energy, as you know.
So what do we do?
Well, I think, first of all, we increase the sanctions dramatically. We start treating this guy for what he is, a pariah. The Magnitsky Act, we should be imposing quotas on individuals as well as companies and corporations. There's no doubt that his economy is in the tank with the price of oil being what it is. Increase the pressure, and let's talk about what he is. My hero, Ronald Reagan, used to tell, you know, he used to call them what they were.
What is he?
I think he is a megalomaniac that is intent on restoring the old Russian Empire. That's why he uses this word Russia Novio. That's why he believes that Ukraine is part of Russia, the Baltics. He's putting pressure on Moldova. He's going to go as far as he thinks he can. And there's this view that because his economy is bad, that'll restrain him. History shows that a lot of dictators, when the economy is bad, act more aggressively.
So if someone is a megalomaniac, they usually don't care about things that you would think normal people would care about, like incredible sanctions that are crippling the economy and hurting the people of the country.
I think he probably cares to some degree. He's supposed to be the wealthiest man in the world, but I don't think he cares so much that it's going to deter him. And actually, if he draws back now with his economic difficulties, maybe that would cause him more domestic
Is there anyone
difficulties.
around him that can advise him from everything you know? Are there any oligarchs? Or is he just a man, again, feared for...
whatever he wants.
He's killed journalists with impunity. He's imprisoned his opponents. Now we're seeing people gunned down in front of the Kremlin. Is there anybody there that can put any that he listens to?
I don't think so. Put yourself in his place. He's been able to dismember Ukraine. He's been able to take the Crimea. He's been able to
just put it in the back. We don't need it.
He's been able to get almost everything that he wanted with no penalty to be paid for
Right.
it. So, so far he's doing very well. Look at it from his viewpoint. Does anybody remember a shoot down of the Malaysian airliner?
Yeah.
No? And I'm sad to say, a month from now, will anybody be talking about the assassination of Boris Nemtsov?
It seems like everything we do is when we delay, we take too long, and then we make a small half step. Why don't we? I mean, we betrayed Poland in 2009. Why don't we put more forces in Poland and let him know every time?
And in the Baltics.
And in the Baltics. In Poland, in the Baltics. Nobody here, if you're watching at home, nobody here is talking about going to war. We have the right, the legal right under international law, to move as many troops from Germany into Poland and the Baltic as we want. Why don't we do that and let him know, okay, you want to do this to flex your muscles at home? We're going to do something that will embarrass you equally at home.
Well, we should, and I don't see any indication this administration might do it. By the way, next, Mariupol. Watch Mariupol. Putin will now pull back, let things settle down for a while, and not have to worry too much about additional sanctions, and he'll go to Mariupol. That establishes a land bridge all the way to Crimea, and control of eastern Ukraine and the industry of Ukraine. And by the way, the economy of Ukraine is about to collapse. It isn't just militarily.